Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ella, and today I'm going to show you how do I personally connect with my tarot cards better. So this video has been requested a lot. Whenever I read comments, I see that people ask, so how did you get that connection? How did you get that intuitive download? Obviously it will depend on each person, because I think connecting with your tarot cards is a very individual and unique journey for each and single one of us. But I'm gonna share with you in this brief video today what do I personally do. I'm gonna share with you one exercise that I do with my students who study with me one-on-one. It's gonna be a freaky but really fun one, so just bear with me. I hope you're gonna love it. I think you're gonna love it actually. And anyway, let's get started. Grab a cup of coffee or tea, hop into something comfy, and let's see how it all works. So first and foremost, you will need obviously a tarot deck. So for the purpose of this specific exercise and for the purpose of this specific, mini video, we're going to be using a classic Rider-Waite. Here we have 8 of Pentacles at the bottom. So we're going to be using this deck to get connected with it, but you can use any other deck. I do recommend you to give a try to Rider-Waite at least once in your life. It is personally my favorite deck. It is the classic, and I also think that if you really understand Rider-Waite, because it's very deep, it's very rich in symbolism, any other deck you're going to be reading is going to be very easy for you, because if you can learn Rider-Waite and its symbolism and connect to it, I think every other deck will be probably like really easy. So we're going to be using Rider-Waite. We're also going to be using 2 crystals that I personally use to connect with my cards. I like to use this amethyst crystal and this rose quartz, but you can use any other crystals that you resonate with, that you like. I like to have usually a white candle with me, so I have this, just a simple white candle, and this one I think has bergamot, some birch, some kind of other greens, I'm not sure, but it's just a white candle. It's nice to kind of like set the tone for yourself, kind of like a meditation practice, tarot practice. I also like to light up incense. This is the incense which is amazing. I got it in Bali when I was there. I think I got it at Yoga Barn, but I'm not sure. And this one is incense that has Ilang Ilang vetiver, I'm not sure if I pronounced it correctly, and Kenang flowers, pure essential oils. It's handmade in Bali, so you don't have obviously to use any specific incense, but if you like something, I do recommend you use natural made oils. It's better for you. And you can also use either Palo Santo, that I like to burn usually before my readings, or sage, but it really depends. The goal really of all of these things is to cleanse the energy, set your space, energetically, for more high vibe energy to enter, and also prepare your tarot cards. Now the exercise that I'm going to share with you in this video, I do not recommend that you do it if you feel overwhelmed emotionally, or if you have any kind of specific condition going on that might make you feel very, very vulnerable to possibly becoming emotional, because it is a pretty powerful exercise. But again, I think that as long as you pace yourself, as with any meditative practice or as with any exercise, it is something that you should be fine with, because at the end of the day, in this specific exercise that I'm going to show you, we are going to be working with our imagination and just really like letting any kind of messages that come through us. I want you to take any card from major or minor arcana, a card that you resonate with, a card that you feel very connected to. And again, I would personally recommend to avoid cards that maybe feel a little bit more scary to you, like Death card or Ten of Swords. Like, I would suggest that, at least for now, you avoid using these cards for this meditation. So for the purpose of this video, we are gonna pick 3 of Cups, which is a very light-hearted, a fun card, very easy for beginners. And I'm going to demonstrate how this exercise works with the specific cards. Again, feel free to choose any other card, but I do recommend that you use a card that doesn't make you feel overwhelmed or, overly emotional quite easily. So let's get started. I want you to take the card that you feel most drawn to. In this case, I have 3 of Cups, and I want you to first ground yourself Take a deep breath in, breathe out, do it 5 or 10 times, whatever works for you. And now I want you to look in this card, but don't look at it as on the surface level. I want you to imagine that you are in this card. Again, it might sound a little freaky for some people, it might not be for everyone, but it's something that I've been personally doing in order to connect with my cards better, to not even get really strong intuitive messages for myself, because many readers say, actually, right, it's so hard to read for yourself. So this is the exercise I do when I really need to check in with myself as well. So now I want you to imagine that you are in this card. Imagine that you are not looking at it from the outside, but imagine that you are there. I want you to see first, what do you see in front of you? Do you see any people? Do you see just these 3 women that are on this card? Is it hot? Is it cold? How does it feel on your skin? Do you hear any sounds? So I want you to take the time when you're asking yourself this question. Again, if you feel overwhelmed at any moment, because I know Rider-Waite is an intense deck to work with, even when we work with a card like 3 of Cups. But I want you to also be playful with it, because this is really fun, as long as we know our limits, right? As long as we know that this becomes overwhelming, let me step out of it. So I want you to imagine you're in this card and just really, really like see and feel the space, the ground, everything that's around you, the smells, the sounds. Allow this card to become not just this picture that you're seeing, but let yourself be in it as this is your reality right now. Take a good look, because as I'm in this card, actually, I'm seeing a lot of different people dressed in various quite interesting clothing. I hear some sounds as well. And of course, for you, it's going to be different. Once you kind of finished identifying with your senses everything around you in this card, this is the most important part. I want you to take a good look. Where do you see yourself? Who are you? Maybe you, every time by the way, I do exercises with these cards, I see myself in different places. Sometimes I'm one of the people represented in these cards. Sometimes I'm just somebody who is not even in the card, but just observing. Every time when you connect with these cards, you're going to get something different. The download is going to be something completely different. So I want you to see for yourself. Let's say you're one of the women in this card. So take a look at 2 other women who are next to you. What's going on? Is this a happy event? Are you celebrating something? Maybe, you know, there is tension between you and these 2 other women, or one of them. Is there any man around you, other women? Like, I want you to take a look at all these details. I want you to also identify within yourself any emotions or any feelings this card is bringing up in you. I want you to ask yourself, am I happy here? Because, you know, 3 of Cups, we can interpret it in so many different ways, right? But sometimes it is going to be something like a reunion with friends or celebration. Other times it could even be like there is somebody here you cannot trust, like, you know, another person. Maybe somebody's trying to take your man, woman, whatever it is, right? So I want you to just be there and allow whatever comes up, come in. Just really observe, like play with it, you know, allow your imagination, allow your senses to take you, whatever it's taking you, allow your intuition also to just, this is really a right brain type of exercise. So we are allowing here to not judge anything, to not try to make sense of anything. We are observing, we're just playing with this energy. And again, at any moment, if you feel like it's too much or you do not like the vibes you're getting from it, just feel free to step out, to ground yourself, you know, take a sip of tea, coffee, any kind of snack, and, you know, just get back to the space where you are in physically now. I want you to stay in this card for as long as you feel comfortable to, again, know your limits here. Usually I just do it for a couple of minutes. For me, it's kind of like in and out exercise. Like I come in, I step into the feelings that it's bringing up in me, and then I go out of it. So once you've finished, once you've observed what you've seen in the card, once you've also checked in with yourself, like how do you feel here? What are the places and things around you making you feel? What are you even seeing? Maybe you're seeing there I don't know, like nearby some kind of very positive thing happen, or maybe you've seen someone of your relatives or friends from your life. Where are they in that space? Like once you identified that, you can take a step back. So once you are back into your body, do ground yourself, take a few minutes. Usually you're gonna feel like it's a little bit like a high feeling. I usually ground myself with food. Whatever I do, whatever kind of meditations I do, whenever it's even any kind of regression or anything, I usually ground myself with food. Works best for me, works very well, I think, for other people. But I think what this kind of exercise obviously does is, first of all, you connect with the card on a whole other level. So whether it was useful or not, and usually it's always useful, it just takes us some time to kind of process all the downloads, all the different sensations and feelings this has brought up in us. But what I think is very interesting is that, first of all, it shows you where you are right now in life. For example, Three of Cups. Very often when I do this meditation with that specific card specifically, I don't even see myself as celebrating there. I kind of just see, like, you know, myself relaxing somewhere else, I would swear, and just observing other people, you know, having fun. So it's kind of also reflective of where I am right now in life. And then some days I look at it, I look at these people in this card and I'm so happy for them. Other days I feel like, you know, I'm missing out. So this will show you something about yourself. You might get some intuitive downloads here about your situation, let's say about the person you're dealing with. Sometimes I even see, when I do these meditations, my passed away relatives come up, or some people I haven't seen for many years. It's really unpredictable what shows up. The only rule here is really, again, know your limits, and whenever you feel uncomfortable, just step out and ground yourself. But, you know, I've been doing this with so many of my students, and we've been doing it even with crazy cards. With my Scorpio student, we've done Death card. With a few more of my students, we've done even cards like Judgment, like really intense cards, and it always went well. If you have someone you can practice it with, could be great, but again, I personally practice this by myself. And again, as long as you know your limits, as long as you know whenever you start feeling overwhelmed, you can step out and again ground yourself. Food works amazing, or having a sip of tea or coffee is also great. But it's always showing me something. And once you connect with your cards like this, you know, you will never read your cards whenever you're doing a reading for someone or even for yourself as, you know, the textbook says this card means this or that, because you've been in that card. You've allowed this consciousness of the tarot connect with your own consciousness as well. So this is a very deep connection. Let's see, for example, how it works with another card. Let's see, for example, this is Strength, right? If you do the same exercise that I've demonstrated right now with the Three of Cups, you may find yourself that in the Strength card you are a lion, maybe you're a maiden, maybe you're a mountain, maybe you're a rock or a grass on the ground. So each time it's going to be different. Colors are going to make completely different sense each time you do this meditation. Maybe even some of you will be doing this meditation and you're going to feel a part of you is a lion and another part of you is represented by a maiden. And you just feel this whole oneness, you know, of the universe and of, you know, of Mother Earth and, you know, everything that's depicted there. Again, it's such an interesting exercise because really there is no right or wrong in doing that. And each time I personally do it, it's so different. You never know what's gonna come up. It's kind of like, you know, bringing yourself back really into this right brain, into this creative space, into this intuitive space, and just allowing things unfold. I think a problem that a lot of people who are trying to read tarot have is that they don't allow themselves to play with it, and they don't allow themselves to just be open to whatever comes up. So what very often happens is that people are like, well, I need to memorize all the cards, I need to memorize all the meanings, and then they freak out because they try and remember everything. And yes, I'm always an advocate for, you know, knowing the classic meaning of the cards, but I think that honestly to read in a special way, to read in a deep way, and to really connect with your cards, sure, knowing what they mean in a traditional sense is great, but I think there is a whole other different, you know, levels we can connect with our cards at. And again, for me personally and for people that I teach, I find that this exercise does some kind of wonders. First of all, the sensation, the feeling of a power that whenever you connect to these cards, is amazing. And I remember when we did judgment card with one of my students, it was just such a powerful feeling. Like one time I did a meditation with judgment, I felt like I was the angels. We saw like a lot of different angels. It was kind of like this open space, and I could see it as it was happening. Other times I was, one of the people who was rising up, from the ground. And every time I did this meditation, it showed me something about my consciousness at the moment, about what I was connected to, what I needed to know, what I needed to process. So anyway, guys, again, I will really be interested in you trying out this meditation. I do offer a one-on-one course with me, and also some classes you can watch on your own time as well. Links about this and all information about this is in the description box. But even if you just do this exercise with my video, please post in the comments below what happened to you, what did you see, which card did you use. I'll be extremely interested, because again, every single person I've ever done this exercise with, it was just mind-blowing. It was just so much fun, and I was always, totally surprised and never expected the outcome that would come up, the things that I would see for myself, the things that another person would see. So this is a really fun exercise, and this is where I'm gonna end this video for now. I might post more tips and tricks and unique things that I personally do with my cards. This is something I came up with myself. I haven't really heard or seen anyone do that, but maybe someone else does as well. So do share your experience with this exercise. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Do have fun, and I'm gonna talk to you soon. All the information about everything is in the description box. You can follow me on Instagram. It's just like this channel. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'm gonna talk to you soon. Have fun, whatever you do. Bye bye.